I was muted. You love to see it. Classic mistake that has to happen at least once every broadcast. But welcome back to the SCS Season 5 qualifiers. Absolutely incredible game's been going so far, and today in this game at least, is going to be no different. I'm McCready over in the UK. Joining me tonight is Chief Casts.
All right, so I have a confession, my friend. I may have also been still muted in VMix, so when our producer yelled at you, he's also yelling at me because I would have been able to talk nonetheless. So, crisis, we've worked past it. It's a new day. It's a new round. We're diving over into round 3. It's Neo versus Survey Corps. But let's talk about round number 2, where we saw aggressive mania, aggro, versus Wichita Wolves, and their names were synergized with each other. It was teams just winning gunfights, or I guess losing gunfights, because you always have to lose one. And at the end of the day, aggro is still able to get the better of their opponents, Wichita Wolves, in a 7-5.
Yeah, we saw a lot of aggressive play coming out in the last game. We saw teams just doing things you do not expect in competitive play. You see mutes on gym bedroom defenses walking out of cash into server with an SMG-11, picking up 2 kills and getting away with it. They got refragged, but that 3 versus 3 makes it so much better for the defenders who started out on a disadvantage that round. And just plays like that, walking down main stairs as Ash, finding 2 kills in that gym on the basement site. I feel like I need something a bit more grounded to bring me back.
I think this game is going to be kind of where we were in our first round, where we had a lot of aggressive plays, but we also had some strategies coming through, because both these rosters have the ability to do both. And I think that's a hallmark of a good team, where you can swing for the fences, and you can also, when you need to, you can, go for that bunt. But looking at other teams in this lineup, it's going to be a good showing. I'm really curious to see how aggro is going to go against the old Akar roster, now known as Waifus, because Waifus was able to beat out the former CCS champions, and that is a huge undertaking, that being Aerial Rise.
Yeah, so definitely strong moving forward for them. And now aggro, they're going to have to really step it up and maybe get to work and pull out a couple of strats if you were hiding them, because, I don't think you're going to be able to beat a team that has just taken out a CCS champion if you are just trying to win gunfights, and that's realistically it. But, Chief, earlier on Twitter, you were talking a lot about 3 Oregons. That was going to be your hell. You're only going to get 1, because today we're going to be heading to Villa.
Whoop, whoop. Honestly, Oregon is the most overplayed map. If you want to make Chief happy, don't go to Oregon. Actually, hold on. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't say that, because now everyone's going to pick Oregon just to torture me. So we're going to just backtrack.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. But we're going to be heading to Villa. That's going to be a huge map to go to. But honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing how a lot of these teams are going forward. For example, as we do head into this, I'm also going to take a look over towards the sheet over here. We're going to see, I believe it is the Gatekeepers. They're going to be playing Luxury Esports. Sorry, that's round 2. I am sorely mistaken, my time.
And you told me to refresh before we went live. You need to refresh first. No.
Yeah, no, but we are going to be seeing them going up against Noctis Project. But back at the game at hand, Project Neo are taking away the Thatcher, and that doesn't surprise me. And I'm going to expect to see an Ace or Habana ban here. Because if you force the Maverick or the Thermite, you force the players to come a lot closer to these walls. And on Villa, I touched upon it before, that really exposes you to a lot of the defenders' sided lines of sight. Like Ace now, you don't get to throw Selmas. You bring a Habana, and if that can be picked off very early or has to be played somewhere else for the push for the strat, you got to force a Thermite or a Maverick in. 1 swing, 1 C4, 1 good bit of information could be your undoing. And that's probably why we're seeing this Valkyrie ban.
Yeah, Valkyrie is a great operator for gathering information. Now, one thing with having Thermite on the board, if you're really relying on the 2 electric units, whether or not it's a Bandit or a Kaid, if you bring out a Thermite charge here on Villa, you just place your Thermite floor charge flush on the floor, and it will blow up a hole where you have a line of sight. It's only about kneecap high. It's not enough for you to actually enter on through. But if your goal is to cut down a line of rotation, particularly when you go over to Trophy trying to shut down the rotation between Split, it can work out pretty well for you. And we've seen a lot of teams go away from that strategy. I'm not sure if it's fallen out of the meta or if it's just something that teams have just, stored in their archives of their brain, have just forgot to bring it back.
I'm not exactly going to make a statement on that. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen, but now I think it's quite clear to you, as it always is whenever this operator makes an appearance, that's the Nomad on the board. That don't worry, I got you there. No, the Frost. That's what we're talking about. The Frost comes in with that secondary shotgun, which is honestly, it's seen me arrive. It's seen a lot more play since she got that secondary shotgun. Because that means, yes, you still have your trap. That still forces at least some information. Either the attackers interact it with some way. They either shoot it, destroy it with soft destruction, or they trigger it. And if you get a trigger in a Frost map, that's the mental as well. But yes, I do actually want to talk about this now. Now, Villa's a map where the flanks can be crucial, and the staircases come into that in a large way. Main stairs, red stairs, and Astro stairs. Now, if you're coming up, 9 times out of 10, you have a really good angle to deal with. I think main stairs is the only one which I'd really favor the attackers going upstairs, or the person on top in that gunfight. Having a Nomad being able to shut that down, or at least, like I said with the Frost traps, you at least have to destroy it or trigger it. That gives away information. That means to the attackers, they have time to deal with you. And that's something I'm really excited to see on this. And that's why I really enjoy seeing Nomad a lot more than Gridlock, I think. Because Gridlock is kind of like, yeah, you have that ability, but at least it's a cool effect with Nomad, right?
Nomad is a double-edged sword, though, simply because I think T3 teams say, all right, we've put a Nomad downrange. All I ever need to do, my flank is permanently secure. That does concern me a little bit too much, simply because you have to have other utility there. You have to have a flank drone, or you have to be actively watching it, because one bullet is enough to send those charges basically into the nether realm, and then the defenders can just flank. But it's going to be one of those traditional study takes where you clear out the entire map. JJ is going to spot some members of the attacking roster. Survey Corps able to do a little bit of damage, but Mr. Pixel himself, he will collect X24, dropping him early on. And that was the operator you were highlighting so much, the Frost.
Mm.
Unable to participate, but at least her utilities throughout the map.
Yes, but the one main thing I want to point out now is that swing coming out from Adapt. Nearly running into the MP5 on Malusi, but no, gonna be heading away, gonna be heading around, and now Axe will get away with the life. Smith, very, very low on HP, but the Roma's game is done. Realistically, right now, we're just seeing Adapt going for a little bit more, going aggressive, and slipping through the attacker's information. Lava will go down, however, and that gets rid of the sledge, and that just stunts a little bit more the push. Axe is in this box position, but you're letting Malusi go by. We talked about flank cameras in that first game, and it's not coming out right now. Blastful, though, will start open with a kill on favor in the defenders.
The attackers are going to have to start to answer more of these kills back. They were at equal man count, but Adapt has found the impact kill over by Lamp, and Lava's now going to have to cut off the rotation, almost grabbing the headshot, but the recoil control was just not quite there for the L85. And the attackers fighting with the man disadvantage. All of their roster stuck over in the master bedroom side, pushing through their utility. Pixel getting on cam was not the play. He's going to inhale some of that toxic gas, but only losing about 15 HP. And here comes the utility from the attackers, trying to break down those Malusi wubs, and now it's a 1v4 with Project Neo quickly ending that, and a great starting the series.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Project Neo, the flanking, the roaming, that was what I wanted to see. Now, we saw Blastful do quite a bit of damage early on at the start, but unable to pick up a kill. Pulling back, realizing, okay, we've overdone it a bit too much. We played safe, we pulled back. Whereas Adapt was just able to hold there. Now, we nearly saw Act swinging into Adapt, but not knowing, was told to rotate, come around to long, come around to 90, and that gave away so much potential and was caught wanting, trying to push into that box area. Axe was taken out, taken out by their own hubris, even. And that was a huge, huge way to play. Now, what I really enjoy with this 6-pick going on is this is a lineup coming out from Neo that you can realistically use on any site. It's just the way you set up the site is different. The pulse pick, that's what's key for me, is because it's making the attackers think they're going bottom floor. We need to bring that sledge. We can't bring anything else because we can't bring it back because we need the sledge. We need the frag grenades. But then they're 6-picking onto Goyo. Now they're going into Aviator games. They're trying to catch Survey off guard, and I really like the mind games. There's more than just, let's pick the operators, let's go in, let's do our site. They're trying to have that little bit more just to catch them off guard.
And at least you still have, the sledge is going to viable. He's always going to be viable. He has a set of frag grenades, and you 6-picked into a Goyo after all. So the attackers have plenty of utility to destroy those Vulcan shields, so not all has been lost. And something in
Mm.
the previous round that I found super interesting. It has been like common knowledge that everybody runs an ACOG on the L85, but we actually saw Lava running the 1.5 times site. And I think that's
Hmm.
super refreshing. We're talking about, teams mixing things up. It's not only with how aggressive you are or your strategies, it's also the new scopes that we
Oh.
see in play because that's going to, in theory, allow you to hold a little bit less aggressive an angle. The ACOGs are great for long lines of sight, but this will give you the flexibility of holding an angle as well as going for the swings. A brilliant answer for the attacking team of Survey Corps as they find X24, the Womai, a man who has pancakes that grow in his back pocket. He has four of them, but he only starts off with one.
Yes, a huge start out, and no more will be put on the ground. So I feel like the Wamai going on that roam there might not have been the best play, but at this point, there's not really much else you can do. You've got a mutant. Smoke have to stay on site. That could be that realistically, if you lose one of them, especially the smoke very early on, that can be criminal. Now, Blissful, that this is what I like to see. Has that 90 cam, has the information, has the ability to get a C4. The C4 will go off. It will go up, it won't go off, and 2 kills could come out now, but Lava heading down with that 1.5, like you said. And now the question is, when will Blissful try to use it? Not right now, not when the diffuser's nearly there. Ooh, my heart's in my mouth. Chief, help.
JJ is going to elect to go up for the red stairs flank. He has the information with the nitro cell, but he can also find that with his SMG 11. Very awkward position for Spiff. He's actually in a crossfire if he doesn't know it, and he will be. Spiker finds two. An answer attempted by the attacking team, but Neo with two swift kills, a quad in the round for everybody. At least we saw it rolling through. A great showing by Neo. Survey Corps is not running their checklist, and they're making far too many mistakes on their execution.
Absolutely huge from Spiker. They're playing that 90. Now, what I really loved about that setup is that Goyo shield, or at least the shield itself, that's playing there. As you saw by a wonderful observer, Spike was able to get the ADSs right in that little corner. Now, they weren't visible from the window, they weren't visible from pushing, and if you want to try and swing on them, you have to really get past Spike, and as I think they just proved, you can't be doing that. So playing that position is absolutely huge with those ADSs. It shuts down a lot of potential. It forces these attackers into these crunch zones, these kill boxes, and a player like Spike at the moment, from what I've seen in this round at least, is not somebody you could just let have these power positions. And go into the bottom floor. I feel like it's just going to start snowballing if Survey don't get ahead of themselves.
Having some inside knowledge on one of these players, Pixel, and how he tends to IGL, he's very active with mini games. Like in the first two rounds, I really haven't seen him committing to anything, utilizing his utility. I wonder if that's just a byproduct of being on a new roster, or if he doesn't have the flexibility to stretch out his legs or whatnot. But there's just far too many IGL identification errors being made by Survey Corps. And those come down to, identifying the offsite pressure, identifying the utility, creating a macro strat or micro strategy around it, rotating the attacker utility to break down the defender utility. But none of those steps are really being made. And that is a little concerning to me, in all honesty. So hopefully they're able to start to make those adaptations early on. Now, again, we're only in round two, so nothing is permanently set in stone.
No, but at least for Project Neo, a very, very strong start right out of the gate. Now, 24 Neo has actually brought a interesting statistic to mind. Only 2 kills have been onto that player. Now, though, looking to make something different. That wall will not be wall banging them. It's been reinforced, and that means that the attackers, they have to go for this top floor. If they want to get the full utility out of Lava, Axe, and Spiff, they have to flush these players out. They need to go into the gunfights, and Lava's going to do exactly that. Will be taking some damage, won't be able to land the shots needed because you don't really spot the player. Project Neo, they're playing it quite safe. They're playing it quite well. 1 C4 will go off, 2 will follow, but none of them will really have that impact. Lava, very low HP, but still alive, still kicking, and still swinging.
How is X24 not punished on the extended robe? And there's actually 2 members of Project Neo still tasked with holding this. JJ with a shotgun in hand, but he's in a crossfire if he doesn't know it as of yet, being swung in by Coat as well as the Astro window. He'll take a little bit of HP lost, electing to rotate safely. Now, he still has a castle barricade in his back pocket. and he can put that pretty much wherever he wants. He wants a lockdown memo as an execute, he can put it there. He wants lockdown China or pantry. The world is truly at his fingertips with that level of utility. And you
Mm.
couple that with lava now falling, the sledge, an operator that is phenomenal at utilizing that vertical destruction, but more importantly, as capable of breaking down those castle barricades. This is another bad position to be in for the attacking team of Survey.
Yes, now Axe will also be taken out from Spiker, who just doesn't seem to miss at the moment. That's going to take away a lot more soft destruction. You need to rely on the Ash now because the Flashbang is coming through, but Adapt is able to find the kill onto Smith as well. Rift trying to find an answer, but right now, Pixel and Axe, the only two to get kills, and only one of them is alive. One of them on that hard breach, and you're stuck upstairs, 40 seconds left to drop as to come through, but now you've got Blastful with the Super Shotty and the UMP looking for the kill, but Pixel will be able to get it. Will be felled though by Rated and Spiker there to pick it up. I'm mincing my words a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think we can all agree, no matter what I say, Neo were very much in control of that so far, and they have been throughout these rounds.
Let's look at the contrast between the Wichita Wolves and Project Neo here. When Wichita Wolves had a man advantage and a large one at that, they all decided to swing. Where Project Neo, I think they run it a little bit better, where they put all their players kind of throughout the map in positions where they have a crossfire. We see the last remaining member of Survey walking out from Big Ben, and he just gets annihilated. Every single gun that was alive from Project Neo pulled the trigger there, and you can see all of those white crossfires just
Mm.
intersecting. That is perfect. That's exactly what you should do in a 1vx. You shouldn't be swinging like Wichita Wolves. You should be doing the Neo strategy. So, if I can send, mental messages to every single Rainbow Six Siege player, do exactly what that last few seconds of round 3. That's
Mm.
brilliant.
Yeah, now that's exactly what you were talking about at the very start of this game, before we even got into it. It's the ability to play aggressive as a team and play coordinated. They're very aggressive positions. You're having Spiker over by that grandfather clock. You're having a player by that China door, the castle, with the UMP and shotgun. And like you say, immediately all the guns start firing. Survey Corps, they're walking into what feels like a meat grinder at this point. And Project Neo, they're more than happy to pull the pin, pull the trigger, and shut them down. Now, one player I would really do want to have stand out is Spiker. Now, granted, Spiker in that last round didn't have so much of an aggressive position. It's how long he was able to hold it, how long they were able to play above and then pull back and still control these areas of the map, the key positions that Survey had to funnel through. Now, returning to Trophy Statue, I want to see them do it again. But from the side of Survey Corps, I want to see them just have a little bit more due diligence. These mistakes that they're making are very easily fixed.
What is concerning to me is the fact that Survey has only 3 kills. 2 on Pixel, 1 on Axe. That is a very bad position to be in. Like, your eyes will tell you that enough. You're in round 4. That adaptation needs to be made. Survey needs to play together as a roster. They need to synergize and need to start to break down these mini games. And sure, they're trying to deal with JJ over by Pantry, but he was misdroned. He's just going to be allowed to persist, but finally grabbed by the air jab and almost able to win the gunfight. Rift barely on 20 HP, but he still killed JJ, so at least that's a step in the right direction. And now it comes down to Survey Corps once again trying to contest these vertical angles.
Yes, and this is what I'm really liking to see from Survey. They've identified their win condition is this bottom floor. The ability to perform this vertical play and the air jabs. They're being used appropriately. They're watching for where they think there's going to be flanks because against a team like Project Neo, at least from so far, you need to cover all angles. They will catch you off guard if they can. And right now we're seeing Project Neo, the floor's being ripped away from them. They're trying to shoot back, but they're not really having that much success. And Survey Corps look at the strongest they have in a while, as Spiker will fall as well to Pix. Now, I really like this position. I really like this take. And now they're going to start pushing up this Astro stairs. They have that wall open. Rift will take some damage, but it's not enough. The smoke canister falling out as Adapt looks for that peek from Study, but there's nobody going to give away. They're positioning quite well, and that's going to be Lava finding a kill.
2v4, Rated still alive, SMG 11 hand. He collects up Axe, but he's still looking for more, rotating to a different position in Astro. He has the opportunity of being misdroned. Most attackers will never look in this position. And it seems like Survey might find themselves in the exact scenario. They all line up for him. It's a triple kill in the round, forced to go to the shotgun, but ain't able to pull it out. And now it's on his teammate Adapt to save the day. That's a nice lineup for him. Diffuser surrendered over by Astro. And all of a sudden, Survey Corps did so much work to find themselves in a position to win this round. It has slipped away from their fingertips with 22 seconds left. Spiff with the diffuser, but under 20 HP. And he's going to have to either find the last remaining member of Adapt, who has so much HP, or attempt this defuse plant. He is going to go for the latter and Adapt on the sprint. That's going to give away his position. Going in through split, and Adapt is able to win this round. Project Neo was somehow miraculously pulled this out of thin air. Ooh, a huge mistake by Survey Corps.
Right, yes, but the biggest thing that I need to draw attention to is that the best they've looked so far, Survey Corps, they're learning what they need to be doing where they're starting to slip up, and that's the flanks. However, they haven't ironed out all the kinks. There's still a lot of moving parts that really need to be touched upon in this roster, in this team. They're letting players just get these positions. Rated is able to go from bathroom, and on top of Astro stats, is able to find 2 kills, shutting down a push. And like you said, the best position they were in to win it so far, and just unable to do it. At that point, they're looking for that 1v1 plant. It's just being stripped away. But at least on the bright side for Survey, it's good. It's improvement. They're getting closer and closer. Now they just need to be able to have what it takes at the very end. Project Neo, though, they seem to be just edging it out forward. And right now, I expect them to pick up a couple more rounds before we go for the match switch. Survey Corps, their defense is where I really want to see them stepping up, if anything. Because this side, 4-2 in favor of Project Neo, I think two rounds will be great for Survey, but realistically, just getting 1, that's all I'd be happy with.
You know, I'm going to take a quick tangent here. I'm going to make an executive decision here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody knows Pixel is Pixel, but I'm going to call him Pixelicious. That just sounds so much better than Pixel. So sorry, my friend, but we're going with that one. You can sue me on Twitter later after the fact. It's Pixelicious from here on out, at least into round 5. But you're right. Round 4 was so much better for Survey Corps. They started to identify the mini games. They played the mini games perfectly, starting with an offsite pressure. However, they started to skip steps, which is incredibly concerning. If you have the man advantage, which the attackers did, slow your pace down. You had more than enough time to drone out the map and go for those kills. Now, something that's also concerning to me, now Neo is up 4-0, but X24 finds himself on a fat donut right now, unable to find the scoreboard. And if you know anything about X24, the man is a monster, and the fact that he hasn't found a kill is concerning to me. And if, you know, Survey Corps starts to heat up, that's going to force X24 to also heat up in response. And if he doesn't, that might be the reverse sweep. But again, we're just speculating at this point.
Yeah, what I really want to see from Survey now, as we're moving forward, as they're looking to take aviator games again, is I want to see them being able to set up these crossfires, set up the refragability that we've seen coming out from Project Neo so far. And right now, very late into the round, a minute off the clock, Blastful and Spiker, they're going on a roam, and this is where we're really seeing what Project Neo are made of. Whether Survey Corps are expecting this at all, because this room could come up absolutely huge, especially if it's a massive-sided take. But Survey Corps, they've decided to go for the study 24 King, like you said, the monster, able to pick off Axe, and is looking for more, very hungry, very aggressive on that study, but not over-peaking, not going over way too much, kind of reeling it in.
It's a good position to be in for the defensive side. The attackers can come back from this, but losing the Zofia will be costly. You've lost those 2 stun grenades from the lifeline as well as the impact grenades. JJ is going to be caught sprinting his way out of library. Now he will be unable to do anything as he's now dead. But fortunately, Adapt is still alive, collects 1, but refrags back and forth. So we find ourselves with each roster 3 men apiece. Now Rated is down, but not out. He has the ability to be refragged, and actually with Spiff now being down, everything has more or less equalized. The Nitro Cell might concern Swift as well as a player that was rezzing him, but fortunately for Pixel, he got off it at the right time, and he is alive, meaning that Rated will be unable to be picked up as X24 is swinging for the fences.
Yes, 24 though is able to find that kill, and now it's just down to X24 and Pixelicious. The plant is starting to go down, but the C4, it's also gonna go. Oh, Pixelicious is unable to hit the shot. And that's Project Neo going to be able to pick up their 5th round. One more, and they could go to match point without losing a single round. Now, X24 able to find kills. You talked about it, you called them out, and here we are, now coming up absolutely huge for Project Neo, especially towards that late round. But yet again, we're seeing Survey Corps. That was a much better round. A lot more kills coming on the board, pushing it down to a 1v1 with that late kind of time on the clock. It never really felt like they were being stomped on like it might have done in the earlier couple of rounds, but taking a look at the stats, they've still got a massive hill to climb. Look at this. 10, 5, 5, 3, and 2 on the side of Neo. Right, whereas Axe and Lava, they're still on 1 kill each. So every member of Survey Corps, they have to step up. They have to say this is the moment to really show the casters and the other team, Project Neo, what we've got.
3D, I wish I could do exactly what I did in round 5, where I call on X24 for not finding kills, and all of a sudden he just finds 3 kills at a thin air. Imagine if I had that power in ranked. I would easily be a champ. However, I'm hard stuck in flat. So it's a sad
It's
day
fun,
for
I'm
my
here as
ranked.
well.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here as well. That's an interesting way of putting it. We're gonna see. Yeah, we just exist in the ranked servers. We just don't participate. We get carried by all the comp players. At least that's how I achieve anything in ranked. Nonetheless, we're gonna see more or less the same style of strategy coming out by Project Neo. And I like this two-pronged defense where they're capable of holding the vertical play, which we know will happen. It's imperative that the attacking team starts to swing those sledgehammers, utilizing those flat breaching charges to remove the ceiling away from the defenders. But they also have a contingency plan in another apex position. That is their extension over into a library. This is going to allow them to reestablish that crossfire, but also if the attackers elect to do a study execute, which they're currently not doing, you can still find your nitro cells true as they will connect. And what we call on Villa, well, this is a nitro cell bonanza.
Yes, it definitely is. And as I've heard you say before, and Blue Panda, who also works for SCS, loves to say and really got me into it. It's the call center from hell. You've got 3 C4s there, ready to just rain hell from downstairs. Now, X24 is going to be playing over towards the split area, takes some damage, but not enough to get the kill just yet. And realistically, at this point, now that they know the Legion's playing that and can be playing aggressive, Axe is going looking for the kill and will be able to get it, getting that first kill in favor of Survey Corps. But they still need to deal with Blastful. A C4 will go off, doesn't find its mark, it doesn't find damage. Blastful making the right decision to pull back, play it a bit safer, and try to catch Spliff off guard. Will find that kill as Lava's able to refrag.
Spiker is locked out over by Red. He wants to re-swing and try to confirm the top floor is back in his favor, but he'll be unable to do so by the pre-established castle barricades. That is one of the reasons we probably saw the attacking team oh no! A perfect play! He had him in the heartbeat sensor. He knew where he was. He just backs up, lines a shot, and collects the headshot. I in a million years have never expected that to happen. That's a fat GN. An absolute slammer, a brilliant play by Rated. And Survey Corps is now going to have to fight with an equal man count. Now, fortunately for them, JJ is on so little HP, but after that play, Neo must be fired up.
Yes, and Rated, the person to get that play, is also tagged up quite a bit. Now, Spiker, playing towards these red stairs, going into Memorial, is able to try and bring it back, but Rift and Lava each find a kill. Axe is able to close it out, and Survey Corps will not go on to match point within the first half. They will be able to pick up a round, and I think one of the biggest things for me was that we saw the sledge staying alive. Lava, was able to stay alive for so long that there was actually a noticeable impact. There wasn't as much vertical play over above the actual site itself, but they still had the gun. They were still able to open up the hatch into laundry, creating the opportunities for the team. And in doing that, Project Neo, they're realizing, okay, there's a lot of opportunities for the attackers now. We need to be able to cover all bases. That's where they excel. They're able to identify where the push is coming from, lock it down into a box, and just execute whoever walks in.
So if you're confused what's happening right now, the team of Project Neo elected to call for a tactical timeout, which they have one per map. Now, this can be used for pretty much any reason you need. You have a player that has connection problems, his computer got fried. You can call, the rehost or now the tactical timeout. If you want to talk amongst yourselves, debate on what you're going to do when you switch over to attack or defense, since we're at round 7, you can also do that. This is going to be an asset for both these teams. However, Project Neo is currently very hot. They're able to go 5-1 on Villa on defense, but maybe you don't want to stop that roll. Now, truly, Survey Corps did end up winning round 6, but I don't know if
Mm.
that's going to be enough to actually, stop the snowball. It's definitely enough to apply the brakes, but is it going to change anything?
Mm. The biggest thing, in my opinion, especially combined with Neo taking this tactical timeout, is the momentum. Neo, let's be honest, they had it in their favor. The last couple of rounds were shaky before this last one, but at this point, they've just lost that round. That survey, they've got a momentum boost. They're going to be heading into their defense now. They're going to be saying, okay, here we go. This is where we start to really pick it up. Now, as you said, 5-1, though, that's only one round away from at least overtime, and you still need to play that perfect game. You need to get it up to that point at least. That's a huge ask for Survey Corps. The question is, do they have the mental and fortitude to get there? And here's what we're going to find out now. If Neo kind of fall flat on their face on attack, which I'm going to be honest, you Chief, looking at their defense, I doubt that's going to happen. We could see Survey Corps push this, but it's very unlikely. It might not be enough.
What on earth are they even talking about right now? They're trying to find a permanent solution to a bird? All right. Apparently, the tact rehost was for a bird. I mean, we're
Huh.
only missing part of the chat. I mean, baffles me. I mean, hey, you're allowed to use attack time now for whatever you like. So good on
Yeah.
them for attempting to save a bird, I guess. But maybe it's going to be Survey Corps now having to attempt to save this series as they currently find themselves in a large round deficit. However, what's even more concerning to me is at least traditionally, Villa has been a map that is either slightly attacker sided or neutral. And
Hmm.
if we look at stage 2 of the NAL, this map was actually attacker sided by only 2%, so it's not going to be that much, but it's, I guess, enough. Oh, so Adapt Bird was apparently going crazy in the back. That's what the TAC rehost was. Apparently, he has a pet bird and it was having a very angry day.
I respect that. I can appreciate that. Sometimes I very much likes to sit down and have no distractions, have an empty room and just play or just cast or do whatever it is I'm doing. So I can imagine how a bird going absolutely crazy kind of cause some issues. But regardless, let's see Project Neo. They're going in for a very, very aggressive attack. Adapt is very confident in pushing in, and 10 and 2. Realistically, it's not hard to see why. They're getting a lot of map control early on with this drone work. They're getting a lot of just boots on the ground. They have a player already prepared to start contesting 90 in the form of Spiker. Spiff is going to walk into it somehow, and Adapt is able to find the kill. These are the crossfires coming in. Adapt picking up their 11th kill, sorry. That's an absolutely huge statistic to pick up in 11 rounds, and Axe is going to be looking for one of to just even it out at this point, with Pixelicious coming in support.
The ADS change is hurting Axe significantly as he's trying to play against an explosive shield. But a quick flashbang dump, the shield explodes in his face, and the position he was trying to challenge over by 90 will be far too much of a risk for him to do. And he has the option of either rotating to a different position or still trying to take that high risk strategy. A Nitrocell will be pre-established. Nobody's anywhere close to that zip code. Axe is obviously angry that Spiker found the impact frag on him. And a Survey Corps having a core fighting with the man disadvantage. Once again, they're always in this position, but hey, at least good camaraderie between opponents.
Yeah, coming in the nice shot, you really do love to see it. Now, Project Neo, they've got all the pieces in motion. Now, I say there's a lot of moving parts quite a few times, but Spiker, he's one of them, and they're more than willing to get these kills, which they will be able to onto Grift. Pixelicious, though, able to find a kill of their own, and Lava trying to add onto the scoreboard, and will have the opportunity to now Rated, gonna take some damage, but it's not gonna be a kill just yet. The shotgun will come out, but the C4 goes instead. It's a 4 versus 1, and it looks like Project Neo are set to go to match point with the diffuser going down.
And just like that, with snap of a finger, Pixelicious will be dead. Project Neo finds themselves on match point. And Greedy, this is starting to look very scary for Survey Corps. This is a position that they do not want to be in. Match point. And the thing with Survey Corps is they're a phenomenal roster. While they have some new additions to the team, Pixel being one of them, this is something I've never seen from them, where they're just unable to find anything in this round, whether or not it's
Hmm.
skills, whether or not it's strategies. This is something that's particularly, I guess, maybe it's an enigma of a series here in SCS, season 5 qualifiers, where they
Hmm.
just made a hiccup. This is their mistake. This is their mulligan. If they lose this round, it is okay. There are still 6 more in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at this and the lineup, and we're going to head back to Casicums for a second, and just in case. Oh, no, it looks like we're going to be fine, actually. I might have got a bit too excited there, Chief, and got a bit too early. But I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at I'm looking at the game of Project, and they're recreating a lot of the recipes for success we saw before. They're getting the crossfire set up very nicely. They're positioning themselves constantly for these refrags, and at least if they're losing a player, then it's not that bad. They're only losing one or two. They've already caught quite a number of advantages and a couple of kills. So I'm looking at how Project Neo are playing, and right now they just seem to have that little bit extra chemistry with the team to keep them going that little bit further.
And it appears that our observer has just crashed. I heard him scream, I'm
Hmm.
crashing, I'm crashing, I'm crashing. And then all of a sudden, DC. So I think he may have crashed. I mean, I'm glad that he told us beforehand,
Hmm.
so you're gonna be stuck with the caster cameras, but it seems like the game is still playing. So this could be here in round 8, the final round. We're not gonna see what happens. Oh,
Hmm.
he's returned back to the
We've got
lobby.
it.
He's still observing, and we only missed about 5 seconds. A perfect place to be. And it
Hmm.
seems like we're over by trophy, and 90 is gonna be the place where battle will start.
A huge shout out to the Observer for giving CPR to the PC and keeping it going. You love to, absolutely love to see it. But now Project Neo are doing the same thing. They're going to just get these basics down. They're getting these flank cameras out. You can see the drone ready coming up in the subtitles. They've got 90 control, and now you've got X24 looking for this early frag and looking to try and get through the wall. Not able to, but you can see that Survey Corps, they're rattled. You've got the Goyle over in Astro trying to start pre-firing. They're not exactly sure what's going on or how to react. The Lava is going to be the first one to almost get droned out. That's going to be the first one to take this gunfight.
I believe there's an attacker of Neo downstairs somewhere in Piano Nose, just seeing him through the walls. It doesn't really matter when you have a Daft on your team. Frying poor Rift, who's currently sitting at 3 and 7.
No.
Pixel's gonna go for the brain dead run out. It works! He able to connect the spiker. A Hail Mary play to say the least, but it worked for Survey Corps, so there's that, I guess. Something that shouldn't happen ever. Lava's gonna look at that window, seeing that he's gonna go out, but he's gonna think better of that. When was the last time, McCready, that you saw a pixel flying out the Astro window?
Well, never. And I've got to be honest, it was absolutely beautiful. Picking off Spiker on the camera. We've seen this happen to Rated with, I believe it was, I'm gonna want to say Rift playing that pulse. Honestly, an absolutely incredible start. I've really been enjoying this. Axe, though, is able to find a second kill. Now, Survey Corps looking a lot stronger when this push is starting to tick down to the last minute. In the Project Neo, they need to get these walls open. They're doing exactly that and trying to keep that up. Blastfall is going to get taken out, trying to get the Astro default, leaving Rated on their own, and Survey Corps to pick up another round, but still, they need to push for that overtime. They need to win 4 more rounds perfectly. They cannot afford to make a mistake, whereas Project Neo, they need to get lucky once, and the odds, you really have to back them.
Honestly, maybe that's exactly what Survey Corps needs to be able to do. Take the gunfight directly to Project Neo, because they were clearly not prepared for that level of aggression. And good adaptation on Survey Corps. However, is that something that they're going to be able to recreate in the next rounds? Because sitting at 6 and 2, they are a very long way away from delivering us into overtime. Overtime happens at the conclusion of round 12, and honestly, I don't think it's something that they're going to be able to be capable of, especially since they're going to go back over to Plains and Games, a bomb site that they lost in swift fashion. And this
Mhm.
is another one of those maps where you're able to utilize the staged roam, where you expand your defenders out through all the buff rooms, you snipe away drones, and then you retreat. However, Survey Corps elected to put all of their utility basically on the bomb site, all their manpower on the bomb site. They sat back and had all of their explosive utility be removed, all their
Mhm.
deployable shields be removed, and their ADSs be sniped. They need to be a little bit more active in these rounds.
Now, I 100% agree with you, Chief. There's one thing that really gets me about what you just said. I have played this game since beta. I've played the beta. I have played it since the end of Dust Line. I played ranked since Skull Rain, and yes, I'm still flat, but well, that's why I'm casting. But in all my years of playing Siege and casting it, now I'm coming up to a year, I've never heard it called Players and Games, and honestly, I feel cheated.
Planes and games is brilliant. And when, you know, I'm going to have to steal this one from Connor. If you're going over to cafe, I'll bless you with another one. You know, we all know reading room and some
Mm.
people call it fireplace of dining. Nah, my friend. It is called reading and feeding. There are two of them for you. Good night. I'm out of here.
All right, you know what? That's all we need. Absolute bangers coming out on the SCS main channel. You'd love to see it. And Lava's going to take quite some early damage playing this Cade. Playing, I believe, closer towards the site. You've actually got Spiff on this roam, taking out the drone, looking to pull back. Will look to play on this red stairs, ready to drop if need be. But Project Neo already making a very strong start, putting some damage down. We saw it before, like you said, very, very swift fashion. They got early control, they got air jabs down, they've got the positioning they wanted. They just need to replicate it once, and they can win this entire match so far.
I love the showing of mechanical skill by Adam. Just that little quick little jiggle peeking, finding if there's anybody showing their head from the defensive side of Survey Corps. There was nobody there, which allows him to push on up. He's going to start to air jab over by 90, and that is going to be a difficult position to be in. He's going to have to challenge his deployable shield actively, but he'll lose his life from a flank. I'm actually not even sure where he found himself dead, but nonetheless, your Nomad has been lost. And he's also the man that has the highest kills on this scoreboard, somebody that you don't want to lose early on.
Axe actually won that gunfight. That's exactly what happened right there. The Jaeger was able to get the kill. Now, X24 has got the camera, has got the information, knows that the shield is there, and is going to actually ask Spiker to deal with it. But the bullet hole could be able to catch this roamer off guard. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Blitzful will be playing towards the Spire. It's a study. A Spiker does go down, and Survey Corps on this side looking a lot better. But there is still damage going down. It is still winnable for Project Neo, with Blastful looking to just push, looks for the head of Rift, but is unable to land it just yet. Axe, though, will be able to find X24. And suddenly Rated and Blastful, yet again, they're trying to win this out in a 2 versus 5. Rated will take some damage. Blastful not on the best of HP themselves. And now time is ticking down. Things are not looking good for Project Neo. They're starting to just stutter a little bit. They're so close to closing it out, and Rift is able to find a kill onto Blast, and Axe will be able to find out Rated. And Project Neo, they're struggling to get over the finish line.
A flawless round as well. It seems like Project Neo are just starting to skip steps. They're so good at breaking down Survey Corps' defense, but it hasn't gone their way at all. That's going to be something they're going to have to make the adaptation on. And remember, this map is very attacker-sided. So hopefully they're able to, well, start to read into things and break down those power positions. Going downstairs into kitchen, it's going to be another one of those scenarios where you start to swing the sledgehammer, remove the ceiling away from the defenders, but look at the lineup. It's pure aggression from the defenders.
I think that's the right way to describe it. And the IQ coming out as well, it definitely hints into that. Because let's be honest, Project Neo, bit shaky recently, and Survey Corps much better. They've really been improving it, and they've really been impressing me with it. The biggest thing for me is this IQ. Look at that lineup, like you said, very aggressive. You've got the Mozzie, you've got the Mute with the C4s, Pulse, and Malusi all have C4s. But you've got the Vigil. Most importantly, this entire lobby is IQ. That can cause a lot of problems. With the Sledge, you at least have to expose yourself if you want to win these gunfights. With Pulse and IQ, it's the two coins, the two sides of the same coin. They both see each other through walls, realistically. Pulse has an advantage of it's a heartbeat, not a gadget that they spot. But still, if X24 has read into this and decided they're going to come up huge in this round, that could be it. That could be the entirety of this series taken out.
And we're going to see that hold vertically. It's not going to be as detailed as Project Neo is bringing out with the expansion over into Library. But the attacking team is still going to have to find themselves breaking down those mini games, particularly the Mute Jammers over by Triple Wall if they want to open up that line of sight, cutting off Split. It's also going to be coupled by this extremely extended roam all the way over to the other side of the map by the main stairs. It's a position that you definitely don't want to be caught off guard in if you're an attacker. But they've sent their drones down range. Rift has now been caught off, and he's going to be forced to rotate to a different position over by Lava, who's now wide swinging in the study.
Yes. Now, looking at how this is pushing out Survey Corps, they need to make a really strong entrance as we push forward. However, Project Neo, they're going to lose that first player. They're going to lose Adapt. Adapt just hasn't been able to have that same early round impact, as Lava will take some damage as well. Will be taken out. That's the IQ, as Lava finds X24 as well. And at this point, the first question is, one, how is Lava getting away with this? The second question for me is, how are Project Neo losing these players so early on, and what are they going to do now that they've lost that?
I think Survey Corps just woke up at the end of the day. Remember, before we hit this half, most of the team of Survey just hadn't found the scoreboard whatsoever. All of a sudden, their guns come alive. They found the scoreboard and they're starting to claw themselves back closer to victory. Seems like JJ might be alerted that there's somebody rotating. However, he's on the other side of the wall, closer by 90. Pixel is still playing this super aggressive. He also knows that there's an attacker very close by. He assumes he's somewhere by the red stairs. JJ looking in every possible direction. He's actually called in for an additional amount of help as Spiker's going to be working his way from 90. An ADSC was not the play for Pixel. Now losing his life. That's the first kill to go in favor of Project Neo. As we dive sub 60 seconds, they're still going to have to find more.
Yes, and Blazful will be going down. Spiker this time being the last one to survive in this 1v4. And realistically, when it comes to the entry, Spiker's the one you want. Rift is going to get taken down. Spiker realizing that the one-hit barricades are in place at this point. They've been prepped and been prepared, but that Melusi Banshee, that's going to cause the issues. Lava still has a C4, acts with the impact, and the diffuser's down. This is going to be a huge ask for Spiker if they want to win the round. They're going to try and get the shots on Thwack, who is just going to fall back. Time is ticking down now. Project Neo can close it down, but they need something huge. The pulse will give away the information. Spiker pre-firing, but not landing the shot.
Spiker collecting one. It's an attempt, but it's not going to be enough. He's not going to go for the diffuser. He wants to take these gunfights caught in a Melusi wubs. His position is before known. There's really nothing he can do. It's all about padding stats, sprinting into the bomb site. Nobody's going to present themselves on the side of Survey Corps. He'll almost line up another, but it just doesn't matter. Survey Corps in round 10 will be victorious. The comeback is starting to mount one by one, but has Project Neo already put the fatal blow in all those rounds ago, or is it going to be an answer 5-1 back for the defensive sides?
Okay, this is what I wanted to see from Survey Corps. Really, really tough start, stepping it up, finding the opening kills, and then they're taking a page out of Project Neo's book. They're learning when to get aggressive and when not to. They're saying, okay, Lava, you've got one kill, get one if you can because you're low HP. It's still a huge, if you can still get that second kill, then that's a huge position to be in. Lava's able to get it, pulls back onto site, and survives until the end of the round. At this point, you're looking at just Project Neo trying to make up for losses, and if that's the position you're in for in the first minute, attacking a kitchen dining site of all sites, I give Survey Corps a really, really strong chance to bring this to overtime. They won kitchen dining, that means they're trophy statue now. This also means that if they win this, they'll be on 5 points. They'll be on 5 rounds. They go to Aviator Games. If they win that, we get overtime. That was the key round for both teams to win, and Survey Corps, they've just been able to do it. I want to see overtime, I'm going to be honest. It's about 3:30, Chief, but I'm willing to stay up that a little bit longer just to get a full game out of these two.
What I find very interesting is traditionally the worst bomb site in this map, excluding library, is Trophy. However, that was the primary bomb site for Neo. It was the first bomb site that Survey Corps was able to win. And this might just be a byproduct of the new meta. Maybe this map is an enigma because, again, remember, this map has been more or less attack-sided. None of the bans scream anything that would say otherwise. And if anything, I think the defense would be severely nerfed by the bans because you've lost a Valkyrie, an intel operator, and you've lost a Maestro, another strong intel operator. And particularly the Maestro, that is a mini game that the attackers are directly going to have to deal with. It burns a lot of attacker explosive utility. It's going to burn 2 of your Ash charges, 2 of your nades, 2 of your Zofia impact. But since you don't have those mini games participate, it should expedite the attacks.
Yes, but the biggest thing is that Project Neo, those are the bans. They got the Ace, they got the Valkyrie, and now they're starting to fall flat on their face. But we are seeing a very early entrance looking to go below and do what Survey Corps done to them. they're looking at just ripping open the floor, and with the operators available, there is a strong chance to do that. But with drones, there's an even stronger chance to get more warbangs like we saw Rated doing. If this is what we see, Ellie's playing below can be absolutely huge. Now, Chief, I'm not sure if you know, but even if you get Blastful down below in that dining, you ping out a Goyle Shield or some utility. You shoot 2 Habana pallets at it, you detonate them from the roof, and that will destroy that utility. It's all completely gone. The Goyle Shield, whatever it is, it's gone.
The attackers in a good position. They're starting to remove the top part of the triple wall to send some grenades down range to actually open up that line of sight. Again, with the whole goal of looking in the split, you want to cut down the bomb site perfectly in 2. So the player playing over in Astro or the player playing in Deer will be unable to retreat. The thing is, you have to put your Skyro pellets a little bit lower. An aggressive swing for Lava is ill-advised. He will lose his life. He should have waited and played the clock a little bit more. But this is now Project Neo's time to shine. They have the man advantage. They're starting to set up a crossfire by sending their troops up the Astra stairs. But Pixel, the man on the mission, is still alive, able to find one, immediately refragged by Adapt.
Yes, Adapt is going to be able to find that kill, keeping them in that 1-player advantage. Time ticking down, though. Positioning is helping Survey Core. But looking at this Project Neo, they have that player advantage. They can push in, they can go for refrags, and right now they're going to be popping these Goyle Shields. Adapt, able to find a third, absolutely turning up, opening opportunities for the team. That's what you want from a good support player. That's what you need as we approach the last 19 seconds. The C4 will go off, but it will not land the shots that are needed. Spiff and Rift, with 15 seconds left, very difficult positions to play. And now Spiff is going to have to deal with the Proto. Adapt is able to find a kill, but the plant started to go down. The swing comes out, Spiff goes down, and the TK comes out. Rift finds one. It's a 1 versus 1. The plant is starting to go down from Spiker, but at this point, the plant is going to be fine. There's no C4 to deny it, and now Spiker just has to play for the post plant. R4C, you have to favor that weapon, and Rift is going to go for the peak, but isn't able to get it. Is able to get the defuse, finding that and keeping Survey Core in the fight. Chief, oh my lord.
Well, that was a toss and a half. My lord. Everything was perfect for Project Neo. They had the man advantage. They had the post-plant positioning. And they decided to say, oh, look at how much little time's left on the clock. Let's start to rush. Let's forget about our basics. And they were just too active on putting the bomb down. They got so tunnel vision, they forgot that there's a potential of being swung. Those are one of those seconds where you have to take a nice deep breath, calm yourself, then go for your execute, making sure your teammates are covering you. And a good read by Survey Corps, just understanding that Project Neo was kind of just sweating in place right now, able to win those gunfights. And I truly expect that out of both these rosters being able to win their gunfights. But a 1v1, Lava today proved his worth in Salt. This is going to prompt Planes and Games, the primary and final round of regular play. The ball is truly in Project Neo's court. If they win this round, qualifier round 3 will end. But if Survey Corps has the comeback, they will find themselves in overtime in a 3-round shootout.
This is everything now at this point. If Survey Corps get this, they're back on that even playing field. I said they had to play a perfect game. And boy, it's been shaky, but they've done it. They've brought it back from, I believe it was 6-2 to bring it to 6-5 now. Right. If they're able to go take it to overtime at this point, Chief, I can easily see Survey Corps taking this. The mentality of Project Neo starting to definitely just trip up. Like you said, they're getting a lot of these, the tight gameplay that we saw in the early game, it's just being lost a little bit. They're going for pushes onto site. They're trying to dismantle this utility by just aiming them. And that's not where Project Neo really stepped up. They've won this site a number of times before. They've had really good executions of getting that 90 control, getting study control. It could go either way, but right now I'm backing Survey Corps just on the momentum and the boulder that seems to be their fragging ability at the moment.
I believe Adapt was sitting at like 12-4 side switch. That's what concerns me, is he's only found 3 kills in the past 6 rounds, or technically the past 5 rounds. That is not a good place to be. X24 is going to find an explosion in front of him. That could have been a pre-detonated nitro cell. Rift has already lost his, so it hasn't found its target. We're putting 2 and 2 together. That is perfect utility that can be utilized at stopping the attackers getting control. of the master bedroom side of the map. It would be perfect utility designed to deny that plant that has now been zapped into the nether realm that will be unable to be utilized.
Yes, now Lava's also lost her C4, so that's making me think, because we only heard one explosion, there's a pre-place which will be detonated, but actually destroyed from the Sophia charge. That's what I really like to see, is that some tight drone coming out from Project Neo. That's what they need to keep having. And with Spiker being able to play this position right now just outside, moving to study, there's a lot of potential for these flanks, for these crossfires. Project Neo just need to take a breath and say, okay, this is how we win our rounds. This is how we play the game. But now Adapt is already going to start peeking into sight, trying to look for the kill to open things up for the team. And it's not going to be coming just yet. If anything, you're going to be walking into Spiff, and time's ticking down. Not a single kill, and I'm thinking it's going to be the last 30 seconds. The 20-second meta, it's going to be coming back for this round, Chief.
It's going to be impossible to peek just about any one of these door frames. It's going to be imperative that Project Neo finds an opening tool that should be facilitated by their hard breach. You can put it in a bunch of areas facing towards the gun vault wall. You can open up the side of that U wall over by bar to allow yourself to have the easy plan through. Pixel will find the first casualty in this round. That is now rated. He had one more frag grenade still in his back pocket, unable to connect to any of the on-site utility for Survey Corps, and that is a dangerous position to be in. However, the defense still has the crossfires looking towards not only Zombie, but as well as a studied door, an aggressive play by the Goyo of Rip. He will spot one, but he will not line up his shots. He's in a position to waste time, but he doesn't have a lot of HP to be successful in a gunfight.
Now, with 20 seconds left, that kill has gone in favor of Survey Corps, but Project Neo, they know how to shut it down, but Adapt isn't going to be the person to do it. The plant will not be able to go down just yet. Lava finding X24 as well. Blastful being taken out. Spikers on their own. The pre-fire comes out, and Lava gets another kill. And Survey Corps, they're going to push it to overtime, Chief, and this is the comeback. The tactical timeout, because of the bird, it's given Survey Corps the breath of fresh air they need to pick up 5 rounds in a row.
It's a bad place to be. So this map is looking very defender-sided, and if we take what we have learned, Survey Corps is going to maintain on defense still, and they're going to have 2 rounds of defense compared to Project Neo, which will only have 1. Now, our league, SCS, is known for our limited overtime, where you have to win 2 rounds in a row, and if you are unable to do so, we'll reset the overtime bracket. But here in qualifiers, we run the traditional overtime where you have a minimum of 3 rounds. So it's technically a best of 2 rounds. Whoever wins 2 rounds ends up being the victor. And again, the defense will have the power of this unless all of a sudden it just turns on its head and becomes attacker-sided over, which I doubt.
I'm still kind of at shock. What are we... We're seeing just Survey Corps really step up, and going to the kitchen dining site at this point, I really like this. They were able to find very early openings, very early opening picks, shut down some of the key players that Project Neo, I think, we're going to be relying on. Adapt, and then X24 and the IQ being taken away as the first 2 kills. That really just stops what they're trying to do. Now, though, I feel Survey Corps, they're trying to rely on that again, and it could pay off. They have got this very aggressive playstyle again, yet again. 4 C4s on the board, and we saw 1 or 2 of them maybe get a kill. Project Neo, go for the vertical play, I think. Just get that top floor control, do the basics right. You can pick up the next round. But realistically, Survey Corps, they're on fire. They are not ones to count out at this point, even though we thought we might as well about 6 rounds ago.
Yeah, 6 rounds ago, we wrote them off. We said that there's no way Survey Corps is going to come back from this. But clearly, they've proven us wrong. It's a defender-sided map. And also, we're talking about the defense has the advantage. We also forgot to highlight the upper hand, the snowball effect, where Survey Corps is still hot. They've won 5 rounds in a row. They're trying to convert and make it into 6. And that type of mental game can start to wear something down. Mental fortitude is something that people kind of forget about. They think, oh, all you need to have is good strategy and, you know, good mechanical skill. After that, nothing else matters. No, mental fortitude is just as important. You have to have a level head and be calm, cool, and collected. And the moment you're unable to self-analyze, it starts to compound and make mistakes.
Yeah, so and when you look at a lot of T3, T4 teams, the more inexperienced ones, that's where they'll show. The mental will definitely come in quite a bit more, and right now we are going to see Rift being able to pick up the first kill of overtime. Now, very low HP granted, but Rift's 10th kill. And if you look at the kills, you've got Lava and Axe both ready to join them. At this point, I remember calling them out and saying their KD after the first 4 rounds is shockingly quite low. Now, though, they've really stepped up. You have to give them the credit. And, well, looking at this, I think Project Neo, they're struggling. They don't have the mental fortitude that they need, realistically, at this point. Although, they can prove me wrong.
And if we're also talking about the storyline of kills, well, X24 had a 3K all the way back. I think that was back in round 3. He's been unable to find the scoreboard since then. But, I mean, in his defense, those 3 kills were incredibly important to his team's success in that round. But he's going to have to find the scoreboard. And as I call him out for a second time, he's able to do exactly that. If Chief gets angry at X24, X24 actually kills. What a surprise.
And for the Project Neo fans in the chat, I think they're going to be saying Chief get a lot angrier at X24. Really step up. Now, Nate Rated will take some damage from a C4, but not enough to really make that much of an impact. You've got Project Neo. They've got a lot of the players alive, a lot more than last time, and they can set up to launch. The question is, though, if they're able to pick up this round, as Adapt and Lava will trade, will they be able to keep it going? Will they be able to hold out as long as possible as Pixelicious is able to find a kill? Spiff is able to get one of their own onto Blessful, and now Rated's going to be taken out. Survey Corps, they were on a 6-2 deficit. Now they are set to take the whole thing in overtime.
Well, things got even a little bit more spicy. How will Survey Corps answer back on attack? And I hate to put so much pressure on Pixel, but it's going to come down to him. As an IGL and an individual who's extremely good at reading his defenders and breaking down their utility and breaking down their roam clear, all eyes are on him. He's going to have a good string of established drones. He's going to have to orchestrate how the drones are going to clear out the entire map, relaying information to the primary entries, who have the option of taking aggressive gunfights or breaking down those hard reinforced positions, whether or not it's the actual reinforcement itself or potentially a deployable shield. There will be 3 in play, 1 traditional shield coming out by the smoke, and then 2 of those explosive shields from adaptive deployment.
I'm still in shock, honestly. I know I've said that a lot, but at this point, Project Neo, at some point, it is not silly mistakes. It is more it's more indicative of your attacking side. It shows quite a bit more that you are not really having as much fun, at least as you were before. We're seeing similar setups come through. Now, this is when Neo shone, but I feel like Survey Kill, they're starting to wake up and iron out the basics, whereas Neo, they're making mistakes. They don't have adaptations ready for it. They're losing these early gunfights. They don't know how to deal with it. They're seeing setups. They're not really sure how they should be pushing it, how they should be trying to clear these positions out. And I feel that you could win this round, you could win this defense, but that's not going to save you on your attack. Survey Kill, however, they still have a huge mountain to climb. 1 round on their attack is what they want. They need to do it again.
Sorry to step on you there. I'm not sure if I agree with the Goyo shield over by the zombie door. It is just basically placed in the door frame, designed to waste the attacker's destructive utility. I understand that. I would prefer the defense utilize it as a fixed position that you can go for swings. It's an extra deployable shield. That's what makes those shields so strong. That's why Utility Consumption Simulator was powerful, because not only did it take the attacker's utility to break those shields down, there was an angry defender ready to slam you at every corner. So we're going to have to see how that ends up being impactful. Now, when that shield does explode, it's going to make a nice sized hole right over by the gun vault door. And if you have JJ still roaming down here as the mute, he can find not only a vertical nitro cell, but he can also find the pre-made holes, I guess, by the destruction of that shield.
Yes. Now, just for people who are aware, this is the 7th. There are 7 games that have not been decided in round 3 yet. So there are more games going on right now, but right now, this feels like the only one that matters to me. And I'm very pleased that Project Neo and Survey, this is what we saw today. This is where we see them playing, and it's just, honest, it's just catching me by the breath. Lava, though, will be able to find that first kill onto Blitzful. And X24 able to get Axe as well.
It seems like both these teams are just dry peeking everybody. X24 finds one, he lines up another, but unable to actually finish that with Spiff, losing a lot of his HP. And there they are, trying to break down the Goyo shield over in Zombie Door. Ready to find another one with an SMG-11. And all these deployable shield bonanzas. It is incredibly strong for Project Neo. And nobody from Survey Corps has any idea how to break it down. Now, Spiff has rotated very close, but he's going to have to go for the vault. That's going to make a lot of noise. But Project Neo will be alerted. X24 goes for the swing, losing his life with a sprint challenge. Was ill-advised for the Zofia player as Spiff now losing his life, forced for Rift, going in a 1v3 with 40 seconds left.
Yes, now it looks like we're going to see the full overtime taking place now as Rift, trapped outside site, 10 kills, looking to go for the push, but has to push to the smoke canister. They know where they are in rated, able to find a kill, and Project Neo, this is what we saw before, but your attacking sides aren't matching up in my opinion. You're not showing the same just competence that we've seen. It's just, you're going from such a high to, I don't know, mid on the mountain, whereas Survey, they're a lot more consistent, especially on their defense. And right now, looking at how it's all played out so far, Chief, I've got to back Survey.
I'm going to agree with you on that one just because they're on defense. Nothing more about how these teams are playing. It seems like the defenders have the W here. X24 has decided that he's going to drop his favorite twit longer that he loves to do after this game. All right. Good on you, my friend. But you should probably be focusing on this next round because that's all that matters. The previous 14 rounds are null and void. It just forget about it. Learn from those mistakes, make those adaptations. But still, nonetheless, it is your job to focus solely on round 15. You have to win this. It doesn't matter at this point. If you want to be victorious here in the third round of the first day of qualifiers, this is your time to shine. Go for broke. Do your best strategies. You leave nothing left.
I am looking so forward to this. But now, Aviator Games, it's a site we've seen a number of times. This is what we've just seen Project Neo defend very successfully. Survey Corps, they've really struggled to let the ball slip at this point. They've really gone above and beyond on their defensive side. They've had the roamers being able to step up. They've been able to catch the players off guard. And most importantly, they haven't let them really get away with anything. They haven't really given them that many advantages and get away with it. If Project Neo are able to get anything, they will have paid at least one or two players a utility cost. There's something there that it just doesn't add up in favor of Neo.
Seems like it's going to be a similar story for Survey Corps. Are utilizing more or less the exact same lineup. It's going to be 3 deployable shields, the same storyline as before. 2 of them have an explosive twist. And Survey Corps, when they were in attack, they struggled immensely to be able to deal with those positions. Now, Project Neo, will they be able to reverse engineer that and find a counter strategy to that? It's going to start off with an aggressive swing up the main stairs. Adapt is just so close, being able to spot the head of Act. They're flirting with death, but nobody's going to really show their body as of now.
Yes, Adapt will get the pre-fire out, trying to find Axe, but it's just not meant to be. Axe will pull back, will get the reinforce as the Ghost Shield gets taken out. That's the right move. You don't want to overextend at this point. You don't want to give anything away to the other team. Neither team really wants that to happen. And now the utility is going to get rid of these Ghost Shields. But in doing so, you shut down a lot of time and movement for yourself. You shut down a lot of ability to sneak around. They know where you're coming from, and they know that you're dealing with this utility. They know you're being caught off guard, and 24 has to try and burn out these ADSs, get that shield, and not get caught out by Rift, who is definitely peaking that position. Axe, though, sorry, is going to be falling to Adapt. The first kill going in favor of Project Neo so far. Half the round is left. Rift is very, very close to a potential run out.
Hyper aggressive micro positioning is going to cost Axe his life, a position he should not have been in. He was trying to deny entry from the other side of the map, but he should have just been playing that angle a little bit more passively. Lava is going to double down on this level of aggression, directly challenging the study door. JJ is flirting with death. If he doesn't know as of yet, he's still laser focused on opening up the U-bar wall and Rated also underneath. He has the potential of seeing his final grenade downrange, connecting with one of the players playing over on the game side, Llama's aggression will connect perfectly as he finds a kill back to equal man count. It's a 4-man lobby as there's 40 seconds left in this round. It's now do or die.
Yes, that wall did get opened up into that bar, but it's just not done perfectly so that Survey Corps, they can rest assured that nobody's getting in from that area. Now they just need to lock down 24 seconds on the clock. Neo need to come to them, and that's exactly what Rated is prepared to do. No frag grenades, so that Kane and Volt can play it perfectly safe. The Banshee going off will give away the position. Lava will be able to find one kill, looks for Rated, finds it. Now Dab's able to find a kill off their rope, but pushes in, exposes, and Lava's on the quad. Spiker has to push it in the 1v1, and there it is. That's Neo gonna take it. Absolutely incredible from them. They had so many slips and falls, but they're able to get it in the last 1v1.
It could have come down to an ace clutch to save the day for Survey Corps. However, the stars did not align for them, and it was Project Neo who found themselves in a swift 5-1 advantage at the half, answered back in turn by another 5-1 advantage for the defensive side of Survey Corps. We said this map would go defender sided. We said that whoever starts 2 rounds of defense would be victorious, but Project Neo, they proved us wrong in the most crucial round of that series. A huge clutch by them, a great play, and a perfect way to start to wrap things up here in the first play day of Season 5 qualifiers.
Yeah, I'm still getting over it, but looking back on it, Lava, absolutely a driving force when it came to Survey Corps, but as soon as Lava started to fall and couldn't hold all the angles, it wasn't meant to be. The rest of Survey Corps may be relying a bit too much on it. At that point, you had Pixelicious playing up against that reinforced wall, and it was all down to Spiker to push. Able to do that with the Ash. The R4C goes Burt, and when you just swing on somebody like that, they don't expect it. It's an absolutely huge kill to get. Now, Chief, we started out the night, it was relatively darkish in my room, and quite light in yours. Now we've flipped, so it's dark in yours and lighter in mine, but it's been a long night, it's been a great night, and it's been so fun.
That it has, my friend. But we're going to quickly look at the round 3 games that were happening off stream. We're going to start off by highlighting the old DVX roster, now known as Synthetic, being led by Mr. Poison and Freeze. And they were able to take their opponent's Phantom Rose, a 7-5 victory for Synthetic, and another 7-5 that was for Versity as they win against the French boys of League Club.
Now, looking at that, that does look like we were only waiting on a couple of games to actually finish up. It's 303 Esports and Darkside Gaming, PSDN and Digital Dynasty, and then that's gonna do it for day 1 of the open quals. But it's been a huge day. We've seen some great games, and honestly, I gotta thank their staff. They've picked some incredible banging games for us to actually have a look at. But Neo, honestly, congratulations to them. I did give you a lot of stick, so especially in the latter half of that game. But both teams, you've got a lot to work on. You've got a lot of improvement to be made. And that's really the true arc, I think, of the SCS series. It's, you have the people who win, of course, but then you've also got the teams that put in the work, put in the effort, and really show that improvement. I think both teams have the capability to do that, should they be able to qualify.
And also going through a little bit more of these round shown, for Gun was able to take Homeland Esports, a 7-3. Homeland was a roster I would assume to be quite powerful. One of the big dogs able to make it at least towards close quals. Again, one round showing might not be enough, but yeah, it's just kind of things being thrown against the wall. Also, Kara taking a swift 7-2 to Ascension. But my friend, I think we're about to wrap up. You said it perfectly. It's been wonderful to have you here. You crossed the pond to cast with me today, and I truly appreciate that. I think there's going to be a few more casts in our future, whether or not it's here or in different leagues, but hopefully here. But yeah, nonetheless,
we'll find a way somehow. Yeah, I know a couple people got their eyes on me, but I always love casting with you. It's a ton of fun. A huge shout out to Rigel and Fermi on the production, because without them getting us on board, getting all this set up, and being so hot when it comes to all the technical errors that inevitably will come up, they've been doing incredible. Henry of the Observing, it's been incredible so far. A great time to start out with SCS for myself, and hopefully for a lot of teams playing in these quals. Thank you for having me, Chief. Thank you for having me, everybody, Twitch chat and all that. But that is it from us. we are going to be heading out for tonight, but the quals are not done. Stay tuned to the SCS Twitter. You will have all the information there and in the Discord.